Part 84. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 831. This is easy. Upon hearing Wang Feng's question, the Rook people answered directly. After entering that mountain range, it is equivalent to entering the ancient passage. For each race, after entering the ancient passage, you should find some entrances. These entrances are the exclusive passages for each race. At this time, you can test it one by one. If it is not an exclusive passage for your human race, then you will encounter great resistance when entering that entrance and will not be able to enter. At this time, you have to change the entrance. If you still enter by force, you will be obliterated by some mysterious power. If you find your own exclusive passage, there will be no resistance when you enter. So that's it? Wang Feng nodded and said, but then Wang Feng thought of a very important question, that is, they are not the only human race in their team. Number 7 and Shami San Xiao are not human beings. How can they entering the exclusive channel for humans? So, if there are people from other races in our team, can they enter the exclusive channel for our human race? Wang Feng asked the question in his mind. If this race has its own passage in the ancient secret realm, it will not be able to enter. If they are not creatures from the original star, they can enter with you. The Rook people replied. Because each race born on the original star has its own unique mark. With this mark, it is impossible to enter the original star through the passage of other races. This may be the original star, for those born on their own planet. Race, a protective mechanism adopted. Because after entering the passage, you can directly pass through the exit and reach the center of that race's living area on the original star. If a hostile race reaches there through the ancient passage, it will bring great consequences to that race. Trouble. After listening to the explanation of the Rook tribe, Wang Feng and Duan Lei looked at each other, and now their feeling that there was some mysterious creature controlling the original star became stronger and stronger. In particular, the answer of the Rook people directly excluded them from the killing of the three little ones, because the Kali people are a race born on the original star, so they have that kind of exclusive mark. As for number 7, Lushu, Mutated Hive, and Kittenrura, they can follow Wang Feng and the others into the exclusive passage for the human race. Number 7 is the Devourer, created by Xian Yuan, and of course does not belong to the race on the original star. As for Willow, Mutated Hive, and Flesh, they are not intelligent creatures at all, so of course there is no problem. Wang Feng looked at the killing three young masters, frowned, then looked at the Rook people, and continued to ask. What's the situation with the original star now? Original star. The Rook tribe member sighed softly and said. Alas! The primordial star is really not suitable for survival now. If I am right, you humans have left the primordial star for more than 20,000 years, right? Looking at the inquiring eyes of the Rook tribe, Wang Feng and Duan Lei looked at each other, and then nodded. He did not expect that this Rook tribe actually knew when their human race left the original star. Seeing Wang Feng's expression, the Rook tribe seemed to know their questions, so they explained directly. Although the primordial star is very big, the news is not very confidential. The news of your human race's departure is not a secret on the primordial star. The people of our clan naturally know it. Since we often travel to and from the primordial star, we also know this information. Wang Feng nodded. Can you tell us about the original star? The Rook tribesman hesitated for a moment. In fact, he really didn't want to stay here, because the longer he stayed in the primitive secret realm, the greater the chance of encountering three major anomalies. However, it is obvious that Wang Feng and the others have no intention of moving forward with them now, so this man from the Rook tribe does not dare to refuse Wang Feng. Although Wang Feng said that he is not interested in their supplies, who knows whether they will suddenly fall out. So, in desperation, this guy from the Rook tribe had no choice but to tell Wang Feng and the others about the situation of the original star. The current situation of the primordial star is even worse than when you humans left. Because of the depletion of resources, most races have begun to leave the primordial star. As for us, there are quite a few races that regularly deliver supplies to the people of the primal star. Therefore, we often encounter other races in the primordial secret realm. Of course, generally speaking, teams like ours do not have a large number of people, so even if they encounter other races, in most cases, there will be no conflicts. Unless it is a race that enters the ancient secret realm for the first time, it will bring so many people in. However, it is also good for you, because after entering your exclusive passage, there will be many monsters inside. The strength of these monsters will become stronger and stronger as time goes by, and the number will gradually increase. For example, our exclusive channel, because we often deliver supplies to the people of the original star, therefore, in our exclusive channel, the number of monsters is very small, and their strength is not strong. But in your exclusive channel, because you have never entered the ancient secret realm, the monsters in your exclusive channel must have grown to a very terrifying level, and there are definitely a lot of them. Fortunately, there are many of you, and it seems that your strength is also very strong, so there should be no problem in clearing out those monsters. In addition, if you feel that the monsters are too strong and you cannot resist them, you can choose to exit the exclusive channel. Those monsters will never chase them out. So, you can use this method to slowly kill all the monsters in your exclusive channel. Once you succeed this time, it will be much easier when you come back in the future. Hearing this, Wang Feng and Duan Lei looked at each other again, and two words rose in their hearts at the same time: copy. That's right. According to this Rook tribesman, only humans can enter this exclusive passage, and there are monsters inside. Especially after they exit, the monsters will not chase them out of the exclusive passage. This feeling is exactly the same as those copies of Atlantis in some large-scale online games before the end of the world. However, Wang Feng still doesn't know whether the monsters in their human race's exclusive channel are real life forms. If they are and can provide him with life energy, Wang Feng doesn't mind brushing more. Several times this copy is exclusive to their human race. But of course Wang Feng would not speak out his thoughts directly in front of these Rook people. Now, without discussing it with Duan Lei, Wang Feng could almost confirm that there must be some kind of creature controlling the original star in secret. And they are just toys of this creature. However, although Wang Feng has already made some guesses about this kind of thing, he is still unable to resist. In this case, let's just continue playing according to their rules of the game. The Rook people did not notice anything unusual about Wang Feng and the others, and just continued talking on their own. He now wanted to quickly tell Wang Feng and the others about the situation of the original star, and then leave quickly. This had brought him a lot of trouble. Stressful humans. This is an ancient secret realm. Here, if they are killed by Wang Feng, there will be no place for them to complain. Primordial star is relatively peaceful now. Because resources are exhausted, no race has the ability to launch a war. In particular, other races do not have many resources for others to plunder. If a war is launched, the consumption will basically be greater than the plunder. Income. The Rook people continued. Furthermore, just like us now, when we deliver supplies to our people on the primordial star, we won't deliver a lot at once, lest we attract covetousness from other races. You are preparing to enter the primordial star anyway. In fact, you can get this information from your tribesmen in the primordial star. The most important and difficult level for you now is the exclusive one for your human race. As long as you successfully pass the exclusive passage and enter your human race's territory on the primordial star, there should be nothing else worth noting. That's right. Will the three major visions you mentioned appear in the area where our human race enters the primitive secret realm? Wang Feng felt that the Rook people seemed to be eager to leave, and knew that he might be afraid of encountering the three major anomalies, so he asked directly. After getting this answer, Wang Feng would let these Rook people leave. After all, there are so many of them now, and it seems to be very dangerous here. Once they are really betrayed, and a time and space storm appears here, I am afraid they will suffer heavy losses. No. After hearing Wang Feng's question, the Lux shook their heads and said, the three major anomalies will only appear in the public areas in the ancient secret realm. The three major anomalies will not appear in the area when you entered, nor in the exclusive passage. Okay. Thank you for the information. Let's digest it first, and you can continue your journey. Wang Feng's question was answered. After thinking about it, it seemed that he had nothing else to ask the Rook people for advice, so he spoke the words that the Rook people had been waiting for. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 832. Of course, the Rook tribe had no problem with Wang Feng's suggestion. As soon as Wang Feng finished speaking, the Rook tribe member nodded quickly, and then returned to his own tribe without looking back. Immediately afterwards, he was already prepared. The good Rook tribe began to continue their journey in a mighty way. Watching these people leave, Wang Feng sighed softly, and then looked at Duan Lei. Liza, go back to Third Master first, and then study the rest. Duan Lei nodded. He now felt that he had a lot to say to Wang Feng, but this was definitely not a place. The location they were in now belonged to a public area where three major anomalies would appear at any time. Even Luke, the people of the tribe, are not willing to stay here any longer, and Wang Feng and the others will certainly not be stupid enough to camp here. Disperse. Everyone disperse and march in the direction we came from. Duan Lei turned around and said, then turned to Wang Feng and said, Madman! You fly the fighter plane and go find Lao Lu and Old Tang's group. Now that we know the situation in the ancient secret realm, there is no need for us to split up. When they left the Grand Canyon before, Wang Feng and the others divided into two groups and started exploring the ancient secret realm in left and right directions. Duan Lei was originally planning to stay behind with Fuxi because they had the Yanhuang number there, so Wang Feng, you can contact Duan Lei at any time. However, when setting off later, Wang Feng thought that he had a small fighter plane. If his team never met anyone, he could fly the small fighter plane, break away from the team, and explore on his own. At this time, if Duan Lei is with him, he can take over from him to command the team. Moreover, Fuxi is on the Yanhuang side and can communicate with them at any time. Even if there is an accident, there will definitely be no big problem. Therefore, when Wang Feng and the others set off, Duan Lei followed Wang Feng and the others. However, their luck seemed to be pretty good, as they met the Rook tribe's transport team so quickly. After understanding the situation of the ancient secret realm, they no longer have to worry about Fuxi, but for the other team, they may not know the situation of the ancient secret realm. Therefore, Wang Feng needs to rush over and remind them. Because they did not know that there were three major anomalies in the ancient secret realm before, the two teams used their usual dense formations when exploring the ancient secret realm. The advantage of this formation is that once they encounter an unexpected situation and encounter the enemy, they can immediately change their formation into an offensive or defensive formation. In other places, there is naturally no problem with this formation, but in the ancient secret realm, this formation is not suitable. Because their current enemies are not other races, but the three major anomalies. This relatively dense formation will definitely cause them heavy losses when encountering the three major anomalies. In particular, if the other team has not encountered other races, they will not know about the three major phenomena. Even if there are signs, they will not know what they are. The most likely thing is to change into defensive formation, but this will only increase their losses. When Wang Feng heard Duan Lei's words, he nodded immediately. Yes. I'll go right away. You can lead everyone back directly. We'll meet at the Yanhuang ship. After saying that, Wang Feng directly took out the small fighter plane from Xianyuan space, then took off into the air and galloped away in the direction of Lu Feng and his team. Okay. Let's go back. Everyone should stay away from each other. Once you notice the signs of the three major phenomena, remember to ignore anyone and leave the area immediately. When Duanlei saw Wang Feng leaving, he turned around and shouted to the Hope Expeditionary Force behind him. Then, he explained the signs of the three major phenomena in detail again to ensure that everyone in his team, all know the signs before the electromagnetic storm and the light of flames appear. Then, Duanlei and the others, like the Rook people, pulled out a long team and began to return the way they came. However, Duanlei and the others were quite lucky. Although they encountered a blazing light on the way back, there were no casualties. This time, the light of flames did not appear in their team, but about 1 kilometer away from their team. When those gorgeous lights appeared in the sky, they discovered it immediately. Although it seemed that they were not within the scope of the blazing light, they still retreated a little further away. After all, they had never personally experienced the flaming light, and they did not know how large its coverage would be. After those few rays of light appeared, it only took a few seconds for the area to be filled with light. The guy from the Rook tribe was right, the light of the flames was indeed quite beautiful. The light of the flames fully covered an area of about 5 kilometers to their right. This area was filled with dreamy and gorgeous light, which was constantly flashing. If it hadn't been for the Rook tribesman's comments about the flames. According to the description of the light, Duanlei and the others would never have thought that such a beautiful light would actually contain high temperature enough to turn any living thing into ashes. This time, the flames lasted for more than a minute, and when they disappeared, it seemed very abrupt. Unlike when they appeared, the light gradually increased, but disappeared in an instant, as if it had never appeared. Okay. Seeing the flames disappear, Duanlei sighed softly, and then issued an order to continue marching again. Everyone keep moving forward, we must return to the Yanhuang as soon as possible, in the ancient secret realm, only there is safety. Hearing Duanlei's words, the Hope Expeditionary Force could not help but speed up. Now in their hearts, they also have some fear for the three major anomalies in the ancient secret realm, because these three anomalies are not real enemies, and they are fearless when facing the enemy. Even if they are powerful enemies, they dare to launch a desperate charge against them. But in front of the three strange phenomena, they had no power to resist at all. There was no other way except to escape as much as possible. However, the three strange phenomena did not seem to appear so easily. After Duanlei brought the expeditionary force back to the Yanhuang, they were truly relieved. During this journey, except for the light of the blazing flame, they did not encounter any other strange phenomena or any other creatures. They returned peacefully. At this time, Wang Feng and his team had not arrived yet, but Fuxi said that Wang Feng had sent back information. He had found Lu Feng's team and was on the way back. At least, when he received Wang Feng's message, the team had not suffered any losses. After knowing this situation, Duanlei breathed a sigh of relief. What he feared most was that they encountered the three strange phenomena before Wang Feng found Lu Feng and his team. In that case, the team might be severely damaged, but now Wang Feng has found them. Even if they encounter the three strange phenomena again, at least they are prepared. Even if they encounter the most terrifying time and space storm, Lu Feng and his team will not suffer too much loss. Duanlei knew without any confirmation that Lu Feng and his expeditionary force must have stretched out a long team just like when they came back. After a long wait for Duanlei and his team, Lu Feng and his team finally appeared in their sight. It seems that their luck is pretty good. There was no loss of personnel on the way back. After asking, they found out that Duanlei and his team at least saw the light of the blazing flames, while Lu Feng and his team did not encounter any of the three major anomalies. In any case, Wang Feng and his team finally have some understanding of the ancient secret realm, and they have not suffered any casualties. This trip to the primordial star has made a good start. Next, Wang Feng, Fuxi, Duan Lei, Lu Feng and others gathered together. Wang Feng first told Fuxi and Lu Feng about his team's experience in detail, including the description of the ancient secret realm and the primordial star by the Luke people. As for Lu Feng's side, there is nothing much to say, because they have not encountered any other species of creatures, nor have they encountered the three major anomalies. For our future actions, I have a suggestion. After talking about his team's experience, Wang Feng looked at the core members present and said, "For the ancient passage, I don't think we need so many people to go out and search. Now we know the direction of the ancient passage, so I think I can drive the fighter plane myself to confirm the location of the ancient passage. After that, we have two choices. One is to enter the Yanhuang, and then I will take everyone to the ancient passage at the fastest speed. The advantage of this method is that we can save time as much as possible, which naturally reduces the chance of encountering the three major anomalies." But at this point, Wang Feng took a deep breath, looked at everyone and said, "In this way, once we encounter the three major anomalies, especially the space-time storm, we will lose the Yanhuang and suffer heavy losses. Although the space-time storm does not cover a large area and cannot cover the entire Yanhuang, we cannot be too scattered in the Yanhuang. And I can be sure of one thing, that is, the energy shield of the Yanhuang will not have any effect on the space-time storm. So, this method is the fastest, and if there is no accident, we can all reach the ancient passage without any loss, but once something goes wrong, we will lose at least half of our personnel." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 833. And as for the second option, Wang Feng saw that no one had any reaction, so he continued. Just follow the method we used when we came back. Everyone has a certain distance. In this case, our team will be very long, and the time it takes will naturally be longer. The advantage of this method is that even if we encounter the three major anomalies, we will not suffer too much loss, but at the same time, our chances of encountering the three major anomalies will increase infinitely. It can be said that if we adopt this approach, there will almost certainly be casualties. Wang Feng looked around at everyone again and said softly, "Everyone can now vote on which method we should use to get through the journey from here to the ancient passage." After Wang Feng finished speaking, no one spoke for a long time, and the scene fell into silence. Wang Feng has explained the three major phenomena very clearly just now. Of course, they all know that even in the sky, the three major phenomena will appear at any time. Therefore, even the Yanhuang Hao cannot avoid the three major phenomena. Area that appears. In particular, although the Yanhuang is very fast, it is also more difficult to avoid when encountering the three major anomalies, especially the time and space storm without warning. If it happens to appear in front of the Yanhuang, it will while driving at high speed, it was difficult for Wang Feng to avoid him. Once he crashed into it, they might even be wiped out. Therefore, no one dares to put forward their opinions rashly, because their opinions may determine the life or death of everyone here. Crazy. I don't think we need to make a decision now. Let's go to the ancient passage first. After confirming the location there, calculate the time, and then decide whether to use the Yanhuang or walk over from the ground. Late. Seeing that no one was speaking, Duan Lei said, "It's just that when you were looking for ancient passages in the past, you had to be careful. Although small fighters are flexible, if you encounter a time and space storm, you won't even have a chance to escape. That's fine. Then I'll go look for the ancient passage now, and you all stay here waiting for me." Wang Feng nodded. The method Duan Lei said is not bad. At least confirm the location of the ancient passage first, and then estimate the time it takes for the Yanhuang to get there from here. If the time is short, there is no need to hesitate so much. Just join the Yanhuang account with everyone and give it a try. Wang Feng. You stay, I will find the ancient passage. At this time, Fuxi, who had been beside him, said. I can only fly the fighter plane that I modified. As for the Yanhuang, I can't fully utilize its speed. There are no signs of the space-time storm at all. In other words, it depends entirely on luck. You can't get into trouble now. If you encounter a time and space storm when you go out, then our trip to the primordial star will become meaningless. Without you, there will be no Xianyuan sword. The rest of us, the people below, are simply dispensable to the human race on the home planet. Hearing Fuxi's words, Wang Feng couldn't help but be startled. He knew that the humans of the primordial star seemed to want him to return to the primordial star. Although he didn't know why, Wang Feng had no intention of finding out. Wang Feng has great respect for the human race on the primitive star. They are different from those on the home planet. Those Rook people have said that the current environment of the primitive star is already quite harsh, and those the human race, for the sake of the inheritance of mankind, chose to stay on the primitive star with a harsh environment. Especially after other human races left, they did not often send transportation teams to the primitive star to deliver supplies to them like the Rook clan. Therefore, it is conceivable that the lives of those human races on the primitive star it's definitely quite difficult. Before entering the ancient secret realm, Wang Feng didn't really believe in the statement that every intelligent race must have tribesmen staying on the primitive star, otherwise, the entire race will slowly die out. He would never believe in such illusory things, just like the god Duan Lei believed in. Although Wang Feng would not slander him, Wang Feng did not believe that the god was real in his heart. However, after entering the primitive secret realm, Wang Feng began to believe that this statement was probably true. If all the humans of the primitive star left, their humanity might really go extinct. Wang Feng felt that this should be a rule. Just like now, the area they have here belongs to the human race and other races cannot enter. This should be a rule formulated by some kind of powerful creature. Wang Feng didn't know what the purpose of that powerful creature was. Was it because he was bored that he created this primitive star and the countless intelligent races on it, and watched them fight inside and had fun? Or for other reasons? But no matter what the reason is, for Wang Feng now, he has no ability to resist or find this kind of creature. Therefore, now they can only abide by these rules. Wang Feng believed that those who stayed behind in the original star must have some understanding of this. Therefore, they did not dare to leave all of them, and would rather stay in the home star with a harsh environment. Therefore, Wang Feng now has some respect for the human race left behind on the original star. At least, they still have a sense of mission in their hearts. For the continuation of the human race, they voluntarily stayed on the original star, and even, if it weren't for that apocalypse, Wang Feng and the people on Atlantis would have no idea that on another planet, there is still this group of people who are silently holding on for the inheritance of mankind. Now, Wang Feng seems to feel that he who has obtained the Xianyuan sword must also have some special mission. If it were before, Wang Feng might not care about this, or he might not shoulder his mission at all. But now, Wang Feng's mind has changed. If the human race really needs to step forward, then Wang Feng will not escape, not for anything else, just for these people on the original star, these 2000s of years of perseverance. Of course, it is also for Fuxi, Xianyuan, and even Dong Huangtai, the ancient great powers of mankind who have never given up the hope of the human race even after leaving the original star. Now that he saw that Fuxi was going to search for the ancient passage on his behalf, Wang Feng couldn't help but hesitate. He knew that Fuxi was afraid that he would be in danger. He even knew that Fuxi was willing to use himself to replace him, maybe not because of concern for him, but because of his concern for him. Because he is the owner of Xianyuan sword. Therefore, when Fuxi protects himself, he is not protecting himself as a person, but protecting the hope of the human race. At least, in Fuxi's eyes now, Wang Feng should be the most important person among the human race. Third Master. I don't think it's necessary. If I go, I shouldn't encounter any strange phenomena. Wang Feng looked at Fu 11 and suddenly laughed. Third Master, have you forgotten those prophecies you told me back then? I remember the last 8 words were, leave the original star and enter the world of reincarnation. Now that the previous ones have been realized, the last 2 sentences should not fail. If this prophecy is really confirmed by me, then I will not have any problems before entering the original star. Dangerous. Exit the original star. I haven't even entered now. How can I get out? You must enter before you can exit. So, I think you don't have to worry about my safety for the time being. I'll go this time. Bar. Besides, I don't know the human race on the primordial star. Senior Dong Huang is just a consciousness now, so maybe when I get to the primordial star, I still need you to help me introduce other people. Therefore, Third Master, you also nothing can happen. No. I'd better go. Unexpectedly, after Wang Feng said so much, Fuxi still rejected him. I'll find the ancient passage first, and then send the star map over. I won't come back myself. I'll wait for you over there. You can choose for yourself whether to drive the Yanhuang or walk there. If you go, you still need to go back. Compared with me, you have to make one more trip, and the chance of encountering strange phenomena will naturally be more. Although I can pilot the Yanhuang, I only have the most basic flying ability. And if the shield is turned on, once the signs of the 3 major anomalies appear, I can't even drive it to avoid it, so you can only drive this thing. Hearing Fuxi's words, Wang Feng was stunned. He thought about it for a while. If he went to find the ancient passage by himself, it seemed that he really did what Fuxi said. He would go there once, and then go again, and then leave. 3 trips. After Fuxi passed, he didn't have to come back, and he only had to walk once. After all, it seemed that the way Fuxi said was better. Duan Lei also spoke at this time. Madman. What the Third Master said makes sense. Besides, I think that in this ancient secret realm, everything depends on luck. If you are not lucky, you may be surrounded by time and space storms as soon as you step out of here. If you are lucky, even if I sleep outside, nothing will happen. Ignore the Rook tribesman. This is the 3rd time he has entered here to deliver supplies to their tribesmen. Wasn't he also not involved in the 3 major phenomena? Even after meeting you, that boy was able to, he survived, so it's his good luck. Ha ha ha. That's right. If they met us, they might not be able to leave so safely. Hearing Duan Lei's words, Tang Haoshan laughed, and then secretly looked at Lu Feng. This guy was known as the Bloody Hand Butcher, especially before setting off. Wang Feng said that all the creatures they saw were all enemies. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 834. Therefore, if those Rook people met Lu Feng and the others, they might actually launch a direct attack, just like Wang Feng and the others did not launch a charge when they first met the Rook people. Later, it was Wang Feng who saw that they did not launch a counterattack, which led to the situation later. Lu Feng ignored Tang Haoshan's words at all. Lu Feng never cared about what others thought of him. Whether it was the Bloody Hand Butcher or the Living Buddha who rescued people in distress, Lu Feng didn't care at all about such titles. He didn't care what others called him. As long as you don't provoke him, he won't bother to care. Duan Lei is right. No matter what, I always have to walk from here to the ancient passage. It doesn't make much difference whether I go by myself or with you. Fuxi looked at Wang Feng and said. So, I just went there in advance. As for whether I can reach the ancient passage, it depends on my luck. Wang Feng thought about it and found that this was indeed the case. Moreover, even if Fuxi was following him, he could not guarantee that he would be fine. The three major visions could be said to be the killers of all living things. Once encountered, were there any around him? People, basically there is no difference. Since this is the case, there seems to be nothing wrong with letting Fuxi explore the way first, especially since Fuxi seems to have already decided. Wang Feng also finds it very difficult to change the things decided by the third master. All right. In desperation, Wang Feng could only nodded and said. Then third master, it's up to you to find the ancient passage. We are waiting for news from you here. Wang Feng didn't say anything about being careful, because if you really encounter a time and space storm, no matter how careful you are, it's useless. Just like Duan Lei said, it all depends on luck. Fuxi nodded, then turned and left. He didn't have Xianyuan space, so his modified fighter plane was parked in the Yanhuang. Watching the small fighter plane piloted by Fuxi soar into the sky and fly into the distance, Wang Feng sighed softly. I hope third master will have good luck. Boy. Don't worry about Fuxi. At this time, Dong Huangtai's voice suddenly sounded. Before, Dong Huangtai had been silent. Even when Wang Feng mentioned the prophecy he had left before, Dong Huangtai did not make a sound. Hearing Dong Huangtai's words, Wang Feng felt happy, because he knew that Dong Huangtai was a prophet of the human race. Now that he said these words, he didn't have to worry about Fuxi. Could it be that Dong Huangtai had some premonition? Senior Dong Huang, are you saying that third master will definitely be safe, so you don't want me to worry? Wang Feng quickly spoke to confirm. No. Dong Huangtai's answer was very straightforward. I just think it's useless for you to worry. Wang Feng was instantly choked and speechless by Dong Huangtai, but he had no way to refute, because what Dong Huangtai said was right. After Fuxi left, Duan Lei and others stopped talking. They just looked at the three-dimensional star map in the Yanhuang control hall quietly. Now the star map was blank, and all the previous planet coordinates had been gone. There is only one white light spot on the entire star map, moving slowly. Everyone knows that this light spot represents the small fighter plane driven by Fuxi. Everyone's eyes are now focused on that small spot of light. It has to be said that this ancient secret realm is indeed a quite mysterious space. At least, Wang Feng knows that in the place where they are now, this area is surrounded by dark red mountains. However, this mountain range is not shown at all on the Yanhuang's star map. The Yanhuang's detection system seems to be ineffective here. The only thing it can do now is to display the location of its own fighters. But being able to do this is pretty good. At least Wang Feng and the others can now see Fuxi's fighter planes and know that Fuxi has not encountered any trouble yet. This is enough for them now. Time passed slowly, and in the blink of an eye, more than 2 hours had passed. The light spot representing the small fighter plane driven by Fuxi had been flashing tenaciously. This made Wang Feng and the others feel something in their hearts. Some comfort. I don't know how far that ancient passage is from us. Perhaps because the atmosphere at the scene was too depressing, Tang Haoshan finally couldn't help but speak. This, at least no one here knows about it. Just wait. Guiwu replied. However, based on the speed of small fighter planes, even if Sanyi has reached the ancient passage now, it may take more than 2 days if we walk there. Especially, in order to prepare for the 3 major anomalies, we need to spread out the team as much as possible, otherwise it will take more time. Tang Haoshan said. Humph. No matter what, instead of walking on the ground in fear for a few days, we might as well just go there on the Yanhuang and die happily. Mars also joined in. Yeah. I also think that instead of tossing slowly on the road, it's better to just fly over. This time, Hao Shui rarely stood in the same camp as Mars and expressed his support for Mars' words. TCH. Why do I think you are afraid of walking on the ground for a few days and are always on tenterhooks, afraid of being scared to death? Martian didn't appreciate Hao Shui's support at all, and immediately began to suppress him. Mars. It's wisdom to see things through without telling them. You said it so directly. What if Hao Shui is embarrassed? Li Fei also joined in. He would be embarrassed? Have you seen him? Mars said disdainfully. Well, this really doesn't exist. Li Fei thought hard for a long time, then he could only shake his head and said helplessly. You too. Hao Shui was unconvinced and was about to retort, but was interrupted by Lu Feng's soft drink. Shut up and look. Because it took too long, everyone's attention was somewhat distracted, and they once again focused on the star map of the Yanhuang. However, they were horrified to find that the small point of light that represented Fuxi's location had disappeared. After waiting for another minute and completely confirming that the light spot was really gone, everyone looked at each other in shock. Of course they understand what the disappearance of the light spot means. Only when the fighter plane driven by Fuxi is completely destroyed will the light spot disappear. Otherwise, even if the fighter plane crashes, as long as more than half of the wreckage is still there, the light spot will remain. It won't disappear either. And the only one who can do this is the space-time storm. With Fuxi's skill in piloting a small fighter plane, even if he encounters an electromagnetic storm or a blazing light, he should be able to avoid it. After all, the flexibility of a small fighter plane is there. As long as he discovers the omen, Fuxi is absolutely capable of getting out of the scope of these two anomalies within 1 second. No matter how fast the fighter planes are, the speed of small fighter planes is much faster than humans themselves. Now, Fuxi's fighter plane has disappeared. It may only be due to bad luck and being directly enveloped by the sudden space-time storm. If this is the case, then there must be no trace of the small fighter plane left, and the natural light spot has also disappeared. As for the human Emperor Fuxi among the fighters, needless to say the ending. Call. After a period of silence, Wang Feng took a long breath and then said. I'd better go. Duan Lei and others looked at each other. They naturally knew what Wang Feng meant. Fuxi must have died now, so naturally Wang Feng could only do the searching for the ancient passage. However, what should they do if Fuxi's situation happens again after Wang Feng leaves? Fuxi has proven that flying in the sky is definitely not safe, even if it is fast, it is of no use. Madman. I think we should not go looking for the ancient passage first. Anyway, the Rook tribesman has already told us the direction of the ancient passage, so we can just march on the ground and head directly in that direction. Duan Lei said, now that Fuxi has died, if Wang Feng is in the same situation, they will not even be able to pilot the Yanhuang. Especially if Wang Feng goes to search for the ancient passage, he will have to come back if he finds it. The danger will naturally increase exponentially. Therefore, Duan Lei would rather everyone set off together now and go directly to find the ancient passage, and does not want Wang Feng to go there again. Adventure. Fuxi's fall has given him a big warning. Now Duan Lei can't help but regret. He should have brought in some of the small fighters on the Hope, so that others could search for the ancient passage. It's not just Wang Feng who can go. However, it is too late to regret now. They have already entered and it is impossible to go back. There is only one way in front of them, find the ancient passage and enter the original star. Xiao Lei is right. Let's set out together. As long as we know the direction, we can look for it together. As for whoever encounters the three major anomalies, he can only blame himself for his bad luck. As soon as Duan Lei finished speaking, Tang Haoshan was the first to express his support, and Lu Feng and others also nodded to express their support for Duan Lei's opinion. Anyway, even if Wang Feng found the location of the ancient passage, they would still have to go there. But now, no one suggested that they all go there on the Yanhuang. Even Hushan and Hao Shui, who had said this before, gave up the idea. Although they were all together for a short time, they really encountered a time and space storm. They couldn't afford that kind of loss now. Wait. What is that? Before Wang Feng had time to express his opinion, Lu Wanting suddenly pointed at the star map and shouted. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 835. Following Lu Wanting's voice, everyone looked at the star map together, and surprisingly found that the light spot representing the small fighter plane driven by Fuxi that had disappeared before had magically reappeared. This is. Lu Feng said with a trembling voice. Although he didn't care about the life and death of others, after being with Wang Feng for a long time, his thoughts had also changed. In particular, if Fuxi was still alive, it at least proved that he had made a new discovery just now. Otherwise, Fuxi's fighter plane would not have disappeared. The detection system of Yanhuang is currently the most advanced among humans. If it has problems, then they may only be able to rely on themselves in the ancient secret realm. Wang Feng. Can you hear me? Fuxi's voice came from the communicator. Yes. Wang Feng almost pounced on the control console and shouted at the communicator. In fact, he was in his previous position and spoke normally, and the communicator could also transmit, but Wang Feng was a little excited now. After all, he originally thought that Emperor Fuxi, the ancient human who helped him a lot, has fallen now. Wang Feng was of course very excited to hear his voice again. Emperor Fuxi now has a very transcendent status in Wang Feng's heart. Whether it is from the contribution to the human race or the help to Wang Feng, Emperor Fuxi is quite powerful. At least, if Fuxi had not given him that piece of energy block, which is what Wang Feng called a brick, he would not have been able to reach his current height. Perhaps when the Devourer's nest came, Wang Feng would have died. Not to mention, his biggest reliance now, the Yanhuang, can also be regarded as a gift from Fuxi. Even the hope that stayed on the mother planet was given to them by Xianyuan, one of the 3 emperors of the human race who was as famous as him. In a sense, the fact that they, the human race of Atlantis, are still alive now is all thanks to Fuxi. Otherwise, they may only be able to stay on their own planet, waiting for the arrival of the cosmic ghost and the Devourer. Or the Devourer, they can still resist for a while, but the attack of the cosmic ghost is definitely not something they can resist at the beginning. Although Wang Feng knew in his heart that everything Fuxi did was not for them, but for the entire human race, but this made Wang Feng admire and respect Fuxi even more. Because Wang Feng believed that if it were him, he would never be able to do this. Wang Feng was very practical. No matter you are human or other races, as long as you are good to me, I will repay you double. Of course, if you are not good to me, I will also repay you double. Therefore, there are actually not a few human races who died in Wang Feng's hands or indirectly because of Wang Feng's orders, and there are also non-human races like Sangxiao or Number 7 around Wang Feng. Wang Feng is not a good person. He will not help him unconditionally just because of his identity. At least, if you want me to save you or help you, you must have a reason for me to take action. Just like the humans who are still staying in Atlantis, they still occupy the Hope Base. In fact, in Wang Feng's heart, those people should have died, because Wang Feng could not imagine that because of their previous battle, Atlantis escaped. But no matter what those people are like, whether they are still alive or not is not in Wang Feng's consideration at all. Just like the current situation, if he can use the life of the entire planet to exchange for Fuxi's return, Wang Feng will never hesitate. This is the importance of Fuxi and Atlantis in Wang Feng's heart. For Wang Feng, the destruction of Atlantis can only make him feel a little regretful. After all, it is where he was born and grew up, and he can reach the current height, mostly on Atlantis. But Fuxi, in Wang Feng's heart, even if he is not as good as Duan Lei, Lu Wanting or instructor Li Yingning, he is definitely the person Wang Feng cares about the most. Wang Feng was of course excited to hear Fuxi's voice. After answering, he immediately asked a series of questions. Third Master. Are you still alive? Why did the signal of your small fighter plane disappear just now? And it took so long to appear? Where are you now? Are you in danger? As if he also sensed the emotions in Wang Feng's words, Fuxi's voice rarely showed some fluctuations. Why are you talking so much? The signal of my fighter plane disappeared just now because I entered the exclusive channel of our human race. After entering, I also found that the contact with Yanhuang was suddenly interrupted, and I couldn't even call you. However, because I wanted to see what monsters were in the exclusive channel of our human race, I wasted a little time. What? Did you think I died? Fuxi's tone seemed very relaxed, perhaps to prevent Wang Feng and others from worrying about him. My luck was pretty good. I flew directly to the ancient channel in the air without encountering any trouble. Therefore, I suggest that you can also fly directly from the air. With the speed of Yanhuang, it should be able to reach my current position in 2 hours. If my guess is correct, my current location is also a safe zone like yours, and behind me is our human race's exclusive passage. I don't think the anomaly will appear here, so as long as you can get here, we should be able to easily solve the remaining problems. Okay. Third Master. We'll be there soon. After listening to Fuxi's words, Wang Feng agreed without any hesitation. He knew that the trouble Fuxi was talking about should be the monsters in the exclusive passage. Although the Luke people at the time described the monsters in their human race's exclusive passage as very scary, Wang Feng didn't care too much. For them who came from the end of the world, as long as they can see and touch the enemy, it is not difficult to solve it. What can make them feel scared is the natural forces or natural disasters like the 3 anomalies that they can't resist at all. Now Wang Feng already knew that Fuxi was not attacked by the 3 anomalies on the way to find the ancient passage, so he naturally dared to use the Yanhuang to take everyone here to the ancient passage. Everyone has a fluke mentality. If Fuxi really fell before, then they might still be worried and would rather go over, but now that they know it, it is a complete misunderstanding. Fuxi disappeared at the beginning because he entered the exclusive passage of the human race. Wang Feng and Duan Lei originally thought that this exclusive passage was like the previous game copy. Now it seems that it should be similar. Moreover, Wang Feng is also sure that this exclusive passage is not the same space as the ancient secret realm where they are now. Wang Feng now has a new understanding of space. At least he will not think that all spaces are actually one as before. For example, the Xianyuan space he now has is a very unique space, and it has almost no connection with the space he is in now. Before, Wang Feng had heard of the multiverse, but now, Wang Feng truly believes in the existence of the multiverse. Not to mention the mysterious creature that created the mother star and formulated these rules that are more like games, even Xianyuan can use the mother nest to create the hope with an independent space. Coupled with the previous understanding of the original star, Wang Feng now knows more clearly that whether this ancient secret realm, the ancient passage they are about to go to, or even the exclusive passage of their human race, should not be the same space as the space they were in before. This is why, after leaving the original star, they will not be able to return to the original star by the original route, but will be directly randomly teleported to the outer space. Obviously, this ancient secret realm is the only passage left by the mysterious creature for the original star. As for those exclusive passages, they are naturally set up to balance those races. Just like humans raise some animals for meat, they will also protect those animals to a certain extent, but not because they don't want them to die, but because if these animals die abnormally, they will suffer losses. What they care about is not life, but profit, so his protection of those animals is not out of pity at all. Now in Wang Feng's view, they are just like livestock raised by some creatures, and this protection of them is just for some purpose that he is not clear about yet. Wang Feng will not let this situation continue, but now he has not even really confirmed the existence of this creature, and of course there is no way to resist. But Wang Feng is now at least sure of one thing: since that kind of creature has set up these areas to protect them, it means that this creature will not let them die, otherwise, the establishment of these safety zones will be meaningless. Therefore, Wang Feng felt that if they and the other humans were together, they would not be in danger if they could travel from the current safe zone to the safe zone over there, because they were all in the Yanhuang. If they encountered a time-space storm, the Yanhuang would be destroyed directly, and they would suffer heavy losses. Wang Feng now felt that if the creatures he imagined really existed, then they would not encounter the three major anomalies during this trip. At least, they would not encounter the time-space storm that they could not avoid. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 836. Everyone on board, ready to go. Wang Feng shouted at the loudspeaker of the Yanhuang. He was not sure whether to drive the Yanhuang or walk directly there. Therefore, he hoped that most of the expeditionary force would still be stranded outside the Yanhuang. Although it was said that outside it was a dark red, and in fact there was no scenery at all, but at least they had not seen this kind of environment before, so it felt fresh. They have just come into contact with this place, so they will stay outside to watch with great interest. This is just like they just boarded the Yanhuang. At the beginning, they all felt fresh, but now, after such a long space flight, Yanhuang to them, the space battleship number 1 was almost the same as the car they had ridden in before. Unless necessary, they will not stay in Yanhuang. Although there are plantations and entertainment areas in Yanhuang, they are already tired of playing and would rather get some fresh air outside. Now after hearing Wang Feng's order, the Hope Expeditionary Force who were stranded outside quickly stepped onto the lift platform of the Yanhuang. Then, the lift slowly closed, and the Yanhuang slowly rose, heading straight in the direction of Fuxi. Flying over. Liza. Do you think we will encounter any trouble along the way? Wang Feng chuckled softly while driving the Yanhuang. Haha. Maybe we will encounter the light of flames or electromagnetic storm, but, a time and space storm, I guess not. Duanlei understood what Wang Feng meant. He was talking about whether the creature controlling everything from behind would annihilate their entire army, or lose the strength to challenge their human race's exclusive channel. Not necessarily, maybe. Contrary to Duanlei's expectation, Wang Feng actually had different opinions from him. The space-time storm may also appear in front of us, but it will not appear in our Yanhuang. It may be far away from us, maybe it will be very close to us, but this, he should be just show it to us, we won't encounter any real danger. Madman. After hearing Wang Feng's words, Duanlei naturally knew who Wang Feng was talking about, so he smiled softly, then looked up at the sky. The sky in the ancient secret realm was still dark red, and Duanlei couldn't see anything. Lei looked at the sky and suddenly asked softly. Tell me, what we are saying now, will it be, not just us who can hear it? After hearing Duanlei's words, Wang Feng also raised his head and looked at the sky. Although they have now entered the public area of the ancient secret realm, which means that they may encounter 3 major anomalies at any time, Wang Feng does not seem to be concerned at all now. Paying attention to these 3 major visions, I didn't pay full attention to whether there were any signs of visions in the space in front of the Yanhuang. I guess, probably not. Wang Feng suddenly said. I remember when I was a child, because I was bored, I would squat in the yard and watch the ants crawling around. Then sometimes, I would catch a dragonfly or grasshopper, kill them, and throw them into these next to the ants, watch them slowly gather together, and then try their best to move the dragonfly or grasshopper. Sometimes, if I have something to do, I will leave first, and they can finally move the dragonflies or grasshoppers, their prey, into their nests. Sometimes, if I feel bored, when they have moved the dragonfly or grasshopper to the vicinity of their nest, they will take it back to the same place again, and then watch them continue to carry that thing. Speaking of this, Wang Feng suddenly smiled bitterly. At that time, I never thought about how those ants would see why their prey moved, and I didn't care what they would say. I was just passing the time. And now, I suddenly have a feeling that maybe, in the eyes of this guy, or these guys, we are just ants, and they. Wang Feng raised his head again and looked at the sky. They don't care what we are saying or what we are thinking. They, maybe like me, are just passing the time. Listening to the conversation between Wang Feng and Duan Lei, Lu Feng, Gui Wuivang, and others around them all looked at each other. They couldn't understand what these two people were saying. Even Lu Feng didn't react for a while. Come over. Wang Feng and Duan Lei did not intend to explain to them, although they had basically confirmed in their hearts that there must be some kind of creature above them, controlling everything secretly, but this feeling was absolutely uncomfortable. Therefore, the two of them did not explain this. No matter who it was, if they knew that they were just ants in the eyes of a certain creature, their every move was under his watch. Everything they did, whether it was fighting or fighting each other, all these calculations are just to kill time for this kind of creature. This feeling will never make anyone feel happy. Therefore, if Lu Feng and the others can understand it on their own, they can understand it themselves. If they can't imagine it, maybe it's not a bad thing for them. This time, Wang Feng and the others' journey was just as Wang Feng and Duan Lei had imagined. There were no real accidents. Although they did encounter the electromagnetic storm and the light of flames among the three major phenomena on the way, they were all blocked by Wang Feng. The wind escaped in time. In fact, the electromagnetic light that appeared once appeared directly in the distance from them. It did not pose any threat to them. Instead, it allowed everyone on board the Yanhuang to enjoy a dream-like scenery. When Wang Feng and the others arrived at Fuxi's location safely, Wang Feng and Duan Lei looked at each other, and now they had basically confirmed their suspicions in their hearts. Moreover, the conversation between Wang Feng and Duan Lei was not hidden from Dong Huangtai. Since entering the ancient secret realm, Wang Feng has not sealed Dong Huangtai's consciousness again. Therefore, what happened around Wang Feng, Dong Huangtai knew everything. However, Dong Huangtai is not yet able to directly talk to people other than Fuxi and Wang Feng, so when he speaks, only Wang Feng and Fuxi can hear him. When Wang Feng had a conversation with Duan Lei before, Dong Huangtai didn't say anything. He just listened quietly and did not express his own opinions. This seemed to give Wang Feng another piece of evidence. Because if Wang Feng and Duan Lei's speculations were just based on speculation, Dong Huangtai might have disdainfully refuted their remarks, but now Dong Huangtai has no voice. Is this speculation, they among the human race? It has been there for a long time. However, Wang Feng did not ask Dong Huangtai for confirmation. Once this kind of thing was confirmed, it would be frustrating. It would be better to be like this now, at least there is some hope. Did I guess wrong? After driving the Yanhuang to the sky above Fuxi's small fighter plane, Wang Feng first jumped off the Yanhuang and came to Fuxi. Third Master. How about the exclusive passage? After looking at Wang Feng, Fuxi turned around and pointed at a place behind him where the space looked a little distorted, and said lightly. The entrance to the exclusive passage that belongs to our human race is right here. The situation inside is a bit complicated, so you can just go in and have a look. Anyway, after entering, you can exit at any time as long as you want to. Hearing Fu 11's words, Wang Feng hesitated for a moment, then turned and looked at Duan Lei. Duan Lei nodded and gave him a reassuring look. Duan Lei knew what Wang Feng meant. He wanted to go in first and have a look. After all, Wang Feng could fly. In this exclusive passage, as long as he was careful enough, there should be no danger. As for how they enter, they must at least have a little understanding of the situation in the exclusive channel before making a decision. After getting Duan Lei's response, Wang Feng looked at Fuxi again, then passed him and walked directly towards the entrance of the exclusive passage. The Rook tribesman was right. Where they are now is a huge mountain range. As for the scope of this mountain range, Wang Feng doesn't know how big it is. At least, he just drove the Yanhuang and looked down from the air. At that time, I did not see the edge of this mountain range. Moreover, there were no living creatures at all in this mountain range. Wang Feng could not see any animals or plants, not even insects. It seemed to be a completely forbidden land for life. The exclusive passage for their human race was not close to the edge of the mountains. Wang Feng flew at full speed over the mountains for at least half an hour before arriving at the location of their exclusive passage. But during this journey, Wang Feng did not find any living creatures other than themselves in the mountains. The dark red mountains were bare and lifeless. Not even the Rook tribe that Wang Feng met before find their traces. But, if calculated according to time, those Rook people should not have reached this mountain range yet. After all, Wang Feng and the others are in the air, while the Rook people are walking on the ground. The speeds between the two cannot be compared at all. Measure. Moreover, even if they enter the mountain range, the exclusive passage belonging to their Rook tribe will not be here. In addition, the scope of this mountain range can be described as boundless. Therefore, it is impossible to see them. It's a normal thing. Arriving at the entrance of the exclusive passage, Wang Feng stopped. He stretched out his hand and gently tapped a huge, dark red rock next to him. Then he took a deep breath, stepped forward, and entered. In that twisted space. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 837. After entering the exclusive channel, Wang Feng couldn't help but let out a long breath while looking at the environment in front of him. Now Wang Feng is almost certain that the exclusive channel and the ancient secret realm are definitely two completely different spaces. No wonder Fuxi said that they had to enter the ancient secret realm and then pass through the ancient channel to reach the original star where the human race was born. Now it seems that this so-called exclusive channel should be the ancient road. However, Wang Feng did not see the meaning of channel here. This exclusive channel, although the name is channel, now Wang Feng thinks that this is simply a world. Moreover, this world is full of vitality and beautiful scenery. Wang Feng even thought that if this exclusive channel can also be regarded as part of the original star, then the human race can completely move here to survive. In front of Wang Feng was a vast plain, on which grew various plants, some of which Wang Feng had seen and some of which he had not seen. Countless kinds of flowers competed with each other in beauty, making the plain look colorful and beautiful. A large number of unknown flying insects were busy on these plants, bees, butterflies, and many insects that Wang Feng had never seen, embellishing the plain into an extremely beautiful wilderness. At the end of the plain was a lush jungle. Although it was far away, Wang Feng, who had a divine eye, could still see that the jungle was composed of many towering trees. Wang Feng even saw some unknown animals in the jungle. Perhaps, among these animals, there were the monsters that the Luke people had mentioned. Wang Feng looked at the terrain carefully, suddenly laughed, then looked up at the sky, and shouted with all his strength. Ha ha ha! This plain is the safe zone you left for us, right? Thank you. Very thoughtful. When he just entered this exclusive passage, Wang Feng had a familiar feeling, and when he saw the jungle in the distance, Wang Feng understood where this familiar feeling came from. If the plain in this ancient passage is regarded as the area where they entered the ancient secret realm, and the jungle in the distance is regarded as a mountain range, then the current terrain is not the same as the safe zone that only belonged to their human race when they just entered the ancient secret realm. Then, in order to verify his guess, Wang Feng floated directly and entered the plane in front of him. His arrival did not seem to cause too much trouble to the insects busy among the flowers. They are still busy, flying around in the flowers, not worried that Wang Feng will cause any harm to them. Wang Feng caught a few insects and looked at them carefully. After confirming that these insects would not harm humans, he let them go. Then, Wang Feng continued to wander around the plane to confirm whether this plane was as safe as he imagined. An hour later, Wang Feng finally returned to the place where he entered here. Although the scope of this plane is not small, because Wang Feng was flying and patrolling in this plane, now Wang Feng can basically confirm that this plane is a safe zone for them to buffer as he imagined. When they entered the jungle, their journey to the ancient passage was truly begun. Just now, Wang Feng tried to enter the jungle. After just a few meters, Wang Feng was attacked. Perhaps because it was only the edge of the jungle, the creatures that attacked Wang Feng were not strong. At best, they were only level 5 or 6 creatures. However, this was enough to alert Wang Feng. Although these creatures were not a threat to him, they were not so easy to deal with for the Hope Expeditionary Force. In particular, these creatures were of various types, including snakes, squirrels, birds. Almost any creature that could be seen in an ordinary jungle was here, and all of them became quite aggressive. If these creatures could reach a certain number, especially when the Hope Expeditionary Force went deep into the jungle and encountered a large number of such creatures, then the soldiers of the Hope Expeditionary Force would be very likely to suffer casualties. In particular, these creatures were very small in size, but they had reached the strength of level 5 or 6 creatures, which made it even more difficult for the Hope Expeditionary Force to deal with them. All along, they had fought the most with zombies or devourers, and these large humanoid creatures naturally tended to fight in this direction. Although they had fought with mutant insects or mutant beasts, the proportion was not high after all. It seemed that if the Hope Expeditionary Force wanted to pass through this jungle smoothly, it would still take some time to adapt. However, Wang Feng did kill a few of them to test it out, and found that the creatures inside were no different from those outside, and he could also absorb the life energy from these creatures. Moreover, this life energy seemed quite pure, which gave Wang Feng a surprise. Moreover, it is a relatively simple matter to train soldiers here. Wang Feng has just verified that after entering the jungle, these creatures will attack him, but when he retreats to the plain, those creatures will only chase him to the junction of the jungle and the plain, and will not enter the plain to continue to chase Wang Feng. This situation is definitely a good thing for the Hope Expeditionary Force. There is no problem with their combat effectiveness and mutual cooperation. However, the only thing they lack now is the experience of fighting against such small creatures. Now that these creatures that threaten humans will not enter the plain to chase them, the Hope Expeditionary Force will basically not be in any danger of life, but they may need a period of training. Wang Feng doesn't care much about this, although he also knows that the human race left behind on the primitive star may not be very comfortable, but they have waited for more than 20,000 years, so this little time should not be a big deal. Moreover, the Luke people also said that the monsters here are constantly improving their strength and increasing in number as time goes by. If they can clear all the monsters in this jungle this time, it will be a help to the human race who will come here later. Wang Feng has a hunch that since everything has certain rules since entering the ancient secret realm, when they leave the original star and are randomly teleported to the universe, they should not be too far away from their human home planet. In particular, when Wang Feng killed the creatures that actively attacked him, he unexpectedly discovered a piece of news that made him very excited, that is, in the bodies of these creatures, he actually found a trace of chaotic energy. At first, when Wang Feng absorbed the life energy of these creatures, although he felt a trace of strange energy in it, which made Wang Feng feel familiar, but Wang Feng himself was not sure. After asking Dong Huang Tai, Wang Feng finally got a positive answer, that is, this trace of strange energy is the chaotic energy that only exists in the original star. After confirming this, Wang Feng entered the jungle again and killed several different creatures. Finally, Wang Feng finally confirmed that all the creatures in the jungle contained a trace of chaos in their bodies. This means that when Duanlei and others came here, as long as they killed the monsters here, they could get the chaos and finally awaken their most powerful ability of the human race, hair. However, in addition to being happy, Wang Feng was more cautious about this trip to the primitive star. After experiencing so many things, Wang Feng has already known that there is no free lunch in this world. This kind of good thing that comes to the door is not necessarily a good thing. It can be said that Wang Feng's original intention to come to the primitive star was not to save the human race, or to deliver any supplies to the human race who stayed on the primitive star. Wang Feng actually brought these people around him to awaken their abilities. In other words, these chaotic energies are Wang Feng's ultimate goal. Now, they can achieve their goals without even entering the primordial star, which makes Wang Feng feel a little worried. He even has a bad feeling in his heart. If all this is controlled by some kind of creature, why should he give himself and others the opportunity to improve their strength here? The answer given by Wang Feng is that they are not strong enough to participate in the game prepared by the creatures for them. In other words, the danger they are about to face is definitely not something they can resist with their current strength. And in order to make the game they designed more spectacular, they will encounter so many creatures with chaotic energy here and get the opportunity to awaken their abilities. At least Wang Feng can be sure that the stronger their team is, the stronger the enemies they will encounter in the future. Come on. Let's see. What kind of enemies will we encounter in the future? I hope your arrangement will not disappoint me. Wang Feng looked up at the sky and murmured. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 838. How's it going inside? Seeing Wang Feng coming out, Duanlei took the initiative to greet him and asked. Call. Wang Feng sighed lightly, then looked at Duanlei and said. The good news is that you will soon be able to stop using combs. Those fighter planes in the Yanhuang no longer need to be used as decorations. Where's the bad news? Duanlei did not feel any joy because he could awaken his final ability soon. Instead, he frowned and continued to ask. Go in and take a look. Wang Feng did not answer directly, but nodded to Duanlei and said. It's a safe area just like the area we were in before. As long as you don't enter the jungle, there won't be any danger. You can even catch dragonflies there. Although Wang Feng tried to keep his tone very relaxed, Duanlei was obviously not affected by Wang Feng's tone, but walked towards the entrance of the exclusive passage with a solemn expression. Turning around and looking at Duanlei's back, Wang Feng took a breath again, and then followed the Hope Expeditionary Force who had already arrived outside the Yanhuang and said. Okay. Everyone, let's go in. As long as you don't enter the jungle, there will be no danger. As for the rest, everyone can go in and see for themselves, but, the scenery inside is pretty good. Lu Feng, Tang Haoshan and others looked at each other, then turned around to command the Hope Expeditionary Force, and began to enter the exclusive passage in batches. Wang Feng did not have any worries about them. After all, entering was a safe zone, and everyone could go in and catch them. Catch butterflies or dragonflies and reminisce about your own childhood, if they had any such childhood. But when he thought of catching butterflies and dragonflies, Wang Feng suddenly remembered something, so he quickly walked into the Yanhuang and arrived at the plantation. Wang Feng looked at the willow trees and the mutated beehives, with a smile on his lips. Let's see how creatures that were not born on the original star will react after being exposed to the energy of chaos. Then, Wang Feng waved his hand and put all the willow trees and mutant hives into the Xianyuan space. Then, he turned around and walked out of the Yanhuang. Wang Feng suddenly thought that the willow tree and the mutated hive were all creatures he brought from the Atlantis star. As for how these creatures that did not belong to the original star would react if they absorbed the energy of chaos, Wang Feng want to know now. If there are rules everywhere in the primordial star, then the mutated willow tree and mutated hive that I brought may be an opportunity to break these rules. It can be seen from the rules of the exclusive channel that within the scope of the primordial star, these rules seem to be all aimed at creatures born in the primordial star, but there are no restrictions on creatures born from the outside world. But after Wang Feng put away the willow tree and the mutated hive, he was suddenly stunned again as he walked out of the Yanhuang. Wang Feng suddenly remembered a very serious problem for him, which was to kill the third child. Next, they will enter the exclusive passage of the human race, but how to arrange the killing of the three little ones? Because number 7 is a devourer, and the devourer race was created by Xian Yuan, it does not belong to a race born on the primordial star, so it can enter the ancient passage and is not restricted by the rules of the primordial star. But Shami San Xiao is different. The Kali tribe is originally an intelligent race born on the primordial star. Although Shami San Xiao was not born on the primordial star, their bodies still have bearing the racial imprint of the original star. Therefore, they cannot follow Wang Feng and enter the exclusive passage of the human race. As for the Kali tribe, according to what the leader of the Kali tribe said at the time, the Kali tribe has never entered the ancient secret realm since they left the original star. Therefore, their exclusive passage of the Kali tribe is of course the same as that of the human race. The exclusive channel is the same, with a large number of powerful monsters. However, since Xiao Mi San is good at concealment and assassination, it is not impossible for the three of them to enter the primitive star through the ancient passage, but in this way, they will be separated from Wang Feng. After entering the primordial star, Wang Feng didn't know what kind of things he would encounter, so of course he couldn't guarantee that he would look for the Kali tribe where the third child was. Wang Feng looked around, but did not find the figure of Xiao Mi San. Wang Feng was not surprised by this. The level of concealment of these three little guys was definitely at the master level. If they did not take the initiative to show up, even if they were, it is difficult for his own eyes to detect them. Only when they come within a certain range around him can Wang Feng feel their presence from the energy fluctuations on their bodies. Wang Feng did not look for it, but directly sent a message to Wang Mi. A few seconds after the message was sent, Wang Mi's figure appeared in front of Wang Feng. Wang Mi. Wang Feng looked at Wang Mi in front of him and said, "We want to enter the exclusive channel of our human race. According to the rules of the original star, the three of you, because you are Kali people born on the original star, there is no way to enter the exclusive channel of our human race. So, now you have two choices." Wang Mi turned around and looked at the Hope Expeditionary Force soldiers who were entering the exclusive passage one after another. He turned back again and looked at Wang Feng without speaking. He was waiting for Wang Feng to say those two choices. First, you leave here, go find the exclusive passage for your Kali tribe, and then enter the original star through that exclusive passage that belongs to you. In this way, you should be able to meet your tribe. As for how to pass through your exclusive passage, I think it shouldn't be difficult for you. Although there are only three of you, the three of you are all masters of concealing your whereabouts. Maybe you can do it without killing. Enter the original star. As for after entering the primordial star, if you want to find me, you can also come to the human race's territory. I think your tribe on the primordial star should know where our human race's territory is. The second option is that you enter my Xian Yuan space. After we enter the original star, I will let you out. However, I am not sure whether the Xian Yuan space can cover up your race imprint, so this way, there may be a little risk. And once Xian Yuan space cannot cover up the racial marks on your bodies, you may be obliterated the moment I enter the exclusive channel of our human race. So, you three choose what to do. Wang Mi looked at Wang Feng, then raised his hand and made a gesture. A few seconds later, two figures appeared next to him. It was Wang She and Wang Lu. After Wang Lu appeared, he gently shook his head at Wang Mi. After Wang Mi made the gesture just now, the two of them tried to enter the ancient passage of the human race. Needless to say, they were directly excluded. They didn't dare to enter by force because they might be obliterated by the rules of the original star, so they had no choice but to retreat. Seeing Wang Lu's response, Wang Mi frowned. When the leader of the Kali tribe left, he told them that they must follow Wang Feng. But looking at the current situation, this is obviously a bit difficult. Although the second method mentioned by Wang Feng has a chance of success, the disadvantage is that if it fails, they will not even have a chance to retreat and will be directly obliterated in the Xianyuan space. We take the exclusive passage of our own race. I believe we will pass by, and we will also find you. After hesitating for a while, Wang Mi said that he did not choose to take the risk in the end. Wang Feng was right. Passing through the ancient passage was not that difficult for the three of them, because they could pass without fighting. For the three of them, hiding their bodies and sneaking over was as easy as playing house. Okay. Then, I will take you to find your exclusive passage. Wang Feng didn't talk nonsense, nodded directly and said. You guys wait for me here, I'll come in and come out. Hearing Wang Feng say that he would send them to find the ancient passage belonging to the Kali tribe, Killer Sang Xiao hesitated for a moment, but finally said nothing. They had also come here on the Yanhuang ship before, and they had a certain understanding of the size of this mountain range. Especially since they left the Kali tribe, the three of them had already become accustomed to following Wang Feng. There was no need to do anything. Deciding to just be the executor is the easiest thing for them. Therefore, the current Xiaomi San Xiao has unknowingly become dependent on Wang Feng. They have learned to obey Wang Feng habitually. Wang Feng turned around and put away the Yanhuang horn, then looked at Fuxi. Third Master, go in. I put the Yanhuang on that plane. It should be a safe zone there, and we should be living there for a while. Fuxi had no objection to Wang Feng's words and just nodded. He had gone in before and explored around. Regarding the situation inside, he and Wang Feng had completely the same views. Therefore, Fuxi also felt that Wang Feng's method was the safest method at present. Naturally, he didn't agree. Will object. Wang Feng entered the ancient passage, then looked at the surrounding terrain, thought for a moment, then rose into the air and arrived about 2 kilometers away from the jungle, and then released the Yanhuang. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 839. After putting down the Yanhuang, Wang Feng looked around again, and then came to the edge of the jungle. He first dug a big hole in the ground, and then, with a wave of his hand, he collected the mutant willow trees and mutant beehives in the Xianyuan space. Let them all out. This is the junction of the plains and the jungle. Wang Feng left the mutated willow trees and mutated bees here and let them hunt the monsters in the jungle to see if they would get any benefits after absorbing the energy of chaos. However, after Wang Feng released them, he still asked the mutant bee queen to send a few mutant bees to hunt in the jungle to see how they reacted after absorbing the energy of chaos. After confirming that there was no problem, he for absorption. After handling all these matters, Wang Feng left the exclusive passage again and came outside. At this time, the Hope Expeditionary Force had all entered the exclusive passage, and only the Killing and Killing Sang Xiao were left outside. Even number 7 had entered the exclusive passage. The exclusive passage did not cause any obstruction to number 7. After coming outside, Wang Feng didn't talk too much. He took out a small fighter plane directly from the Xianyuan space and killed the 3 little ones without Wang Feng opening his mouth. He directly entered the small fighter plane. After that, because Wang Feng didn't know where the exclusive passage belonging to the Kali tribe was, he just drove a small fighter plane and wandered around the mountains at will. Wang Feng flew the small fighter plane almost close to the ground, because the creatures of each race will have some induction when they approach the exclusive passage belonging to their own race. However, the induction range is not large, so Wang Feng will fly close to the ground. Search the ground. Wang Feng didn't know if this place was a public area, so of course he didn't know if there would be three major anomalies here. However, even if there were, he couldn't leave the killing Sang Xiao and let them alone. To find the exclusive passage that belongs to their Kali tribe. Xiaomi Xiao has been following Wang Feng for a long time, and has also helped Wang Feng a lot. If it were not for the fear of putting Xiaomi Xiao into Xianyuan space, they would be obliterated by the rules when entering the exclusive passage. Wang Feng will not even let Sang Xiao leave. After wandering around for about 7 or 8 hours, Xiaomi San Xiao finally reacted when a small fighter plane passed by the entrance of an exclusive passage. The exclusive passage for the Kali tribe has been found. Wang Feng stopped the small fighter plane, opened the hatch, and then jumped out first, killing the three young men, and naturally followed him out of the fighter plane. Wang Feng first tried the entrance of the ancient passage and found that he really couldn't get in. There was a strange resistance at the entrance of the exclusive passage, preventing him from entering. If he tried to break through forcefully, he would be directly obliterated. After Wang Feng returned, he looked at Xiaomi San Xiao. Let's stop here. You three, be careful and try not to fight. It's best if you can sneak past. Xiaomi Sang Xiao nodded, then stood at attention together and saluted Wang Feng with a military salute belonging to humans. Wang Feng also returned a military salute and then said, "After you find your own tribe, if you want to come to me, you can come to the territory of the human tribe." Yes. Wang Mi nodded, then stopped talking and just looked at Wang Feng quietly. Wang Feng smiled. He knew that by killing the three young men, he wanted to wait until he left before entering their exclusive passage. We have been together for such a long time, and we have experienced the cruel environment of the end of the world. Although Wang Feng now knows that the Kali tribe started the world-destroying skyfire, but now Wang Feng is not concerned about the Kali tribe, at least for killing. There is no resentment in destroying the three miners. This time they parted, maybe they would never see each other again. No one knew what was going on in the exclusive passage they entered. Although the three little ones were all very powerful, especially in terms of concealment, they were close to perversion. But after all, there are only three of them, and no one can guarantee that the three of them will be able to pass the exclusive channel. Besides, what is the current situation of the Kali tribe on the original star? How far are they from human territory? What is the relationship between humans and Kali on the original star? These are all unknowns, so no one knows the chances of them meeting again. After waving to Xiao Sang Xiao, Wang Feng took out 3 backpacks from the Xianyuan space and threw them to Xiao Sang Xiao. Wang Feng finally jumped onto the small fighter plane. Then, he stopped staying and drove directly. The fighter plane took off into the sky and flew towards the exclusive passage of the human race. The 3 young men who were standing at attention and saluting looked up at Wang Feng's small fighter plane. They waited until the fighter plane flew out of their sight before they lowered their arms, looked at each other, and picked up the piece left by Wang Feng. 3 backpacks were put on his back, and then he turned around and entered the exclusive passage. Since there was no need to search or circle around when he went back, it only took Wang Feng more than 2 hours to return to the exclusive passage of the human race. I don't know if Wang Feng is lucky, or if he is within the scope of this mountain range, the 3 major anomalies will not appear. In short, Wang Feng's journey to Saint Xiaomi San Xiao is quite smooth, with 3 major anomalies at once. I haven't encountered any elephants yet. After putting away the small fighter plane, Wang Feng entered the exclusive passage of the human race. Madman! This way! As soon as Wang Feng entered the exclusive passage, Duan Lei saw him and greeted him loudly. Seeing the scene in front of him, Wang Feng couldn't help but be a little stunned. He had only been away for about 10 hours, but there had been great changes in the exclusive passage. Of course, what has changed is only the plane that belongs to the safe zone. Now, there are many more tents in that plane. Of course, these tents are set up by the expeditionary force. It seems that Duan Lei is planning to let all these soldiers live outside and not enter the Yanhuang. No. Madman. Do you still have a marching tent? If you have one, take it all out. Seeing Wang Feng approaching, Duan Lei shouted quickly. Can't you live inside? Wang Feng asked strangely. The Yanhuang was actually only about 2 kilometers away from the edge of the jungle. This distance, based on the strength of the soldiers of the Hope Expeditionary Force, was only a matter of seconds. Moreover, those tents were not set up at the edge of the jungle. The nearest tent was about 1 kilometer away from the edge of the jungle. Therefore, Wang Feng felt that Duan Lei and the others did not set up the tents to save time. You can live in it? But no one from us will want to live in it. Duan Lei looked at Wang Feng and said with a smile. This exclusive channel should be part of the original star, because not only the monsters in the jungle contain the chaotic energy you mentioned, but also in the air. I even think that it is because of the air. It contains the energy of chaos, so those monsters also have the energy of chaos in their bodies. We have just tested it. It is quite difficult for us to absorb the chaotic energy in the monsters' bodies, and the speed is very slow. On the contrary, the chaotic energy in the air is very comfortable for us to absorb. So, we think that if we want to awaken our abilities quickly, it would be better to live outside and breathe the air containing the energy of chaos all the time than to go all out to kill monsters. Of course, monsters also need to be killed, so just stay there. You can also practice training on the side. After listening to Duan Lei's words, Wang Feng looked around, and then took a deep breath. It may be because the concentration of chaos energy contained in Wang Feng's body is very high, so Wang Feng didn't feel it. The air contains the energy of chaos. But since Duan Lei said there should be. Anyway, there was nothing wrong with living outside. Wang Feng simply ignored them. He looked at the Xianyuan space and found that there were indeed many marching tents. This was Wang Feng's. It was prepared for their expeditionary force to enter the primordial star. Anyway, the space in Xianyuan is quite large now. Just install it as much as you can, so you are prepared. Do you think this is just in use now? Wang Feng waved his hand and piled all the folded tents beside him, and then shouted. If you don't have a tent, come and get it yourself. In fact, with the strength of the soldiers of the Hope Expeditionary Force, there would be no problem sleeping directly on the ground. However, when these tents are set up, it at least looks like a human camp. The current Hope Expeditionary Force is basically a vagabond, because in their hearts, the Star of Atlantis should have been destroyed by the cosmic ghost. Although they know that the original star is the planet that gave birth to the human race, but, for these humans, who came from the planet Atlantis, only the planet where they were born is their hometown. Now they have lost their hometown. Even the Empire of Hope on their home planet cannot give them the feeling of Atlantis. Perhaps, after 2 or 3 generations of reproduction, those people on the home planet will gradually accept that the home star is their hometown, but now, deep down in their hearts, they still have a feeling of wandering. And setting up these tents may allow them to use this place as a temporary home, so that the loneliness in their hearts will not become so strong. The tents that Wang Feng took out were quickly divided up. Countless tents appeared around the Yanhuang number, surrounding the Yanhuang number. Maybe the soldiers of the Hope Expeditionary Force specifically wanted to find that feeling, so they arranged the tents to imitate the layout of their Hope Base headquarters and the Clear Water Garden on Atlantis. Except that the height is not as high as those residential buildings, the location of the tent is almost exactly the same as that of those residential buildings, and the location of the Yanhuang is naturally the location of the original headquarters, the clubhouse. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzu. Chapter 840. Seeing the tents arranged in this pattern, Wang Feng couldn't help but smile. In fact, he missed the time he spent on Atlantis, especially after the Hope Base was established. Wang Feng suddenly discovered that he seemed to only remember the years after the apocalyptic skyfire about his life in Atlantis, and the days before the apocalypse seemed to have been forgotten by him a lot. If Wang Feng were to choose now, Wang Feng probably wouldn't know whether he preferred the days before the apocalypse or after the apocalypse. Although life in the last days is full of blood and killing, and is always struggling on the edge of death, it is this kind of life that makes it even more unforgettable. Moreover, in the apocalypse, they had experienced so many battles full of blood and passion. Although countless familiar or unfamiliar faces left them forever during these battles, those experiences it was forever imprinted in Wang Feng's heart. The fact that these people have made it this far is inseparable from the sacrifices of those brave and fearless warriors. No matter how powerful Wang Feng is, he cannot bring all these people here by relying on his own strength. After setting up tents, the Hope Expeditionary Force began to continuously enter the jungle and hunt those monsters. At this time, Wang Feng felt more and more that his and Duanlei's guesses were correct. The creature that let them in here obviously didn't want them to suffer too much loss, so it set up such a safe zone. After they enter the jungle, if they feel that there are too many monsters, they only need to exit the jungle, and those monsters will not continue to pursue them. Moreover, at the edge of the jungle, there are not many monsters and their strength is not very strong. As they went deeper into the jungle, the number and strength of the monsters began to increase. The deeper they went, the greater the number of monsters and the more powerful they became. This is obviously giving them, humans, a chance to improve their strength. However, no matter what, this is a good thing for Wang Feng and the Hope Expeditionary Force, so Wang Feng will naturally not care so much. And because of the command of Lu Feng, Tang Haoshan, and others, the Hope Expeditionary Force was also non-stop, taking turns to form combat teams and enter the jungle to hunt down those monsters. However, this kind of battle is much better than the previous battle with zombies. At least, the monsters they are hunting now are edible. After all, they are all animals that have been seen before. If they are zombies, no one has that appetite. As a result, bonfires began to appear one after another on the plain occupied by the Hope Expeditionary Force. Wang Feng's favorite barbecue finally appeared again. Since the battle in the exclusive channel is controllable, they can withdraw at any time if they are injured or feel in danger. Therefore, after such a long battle, I hope that no one in the expeditionary force has died. There were some minor injuries. Moreover, the environment in this exclusive passage is a bit weird. There is no luminous body such as the sun in the sky, but it is very bright in the sky. Wang Feng and the others have entered the ancient passage for more than 10 hours. The environment inside has not darkened at all. It seems that there should be no night here. This is good, at least it will make them clear the monsters in the jungle much faster. Among these monsters, there are many snake-like creatures whose meat is very tender and quite delicious. However, this kind of monster is not easy to deal with because of its small size and the fact that it is in the jungle. All have protective colors. Wang Feng, who has the eye of the sky, can easily distinguish them, but others cannot. If it is night and there is no light, it will naturally be even more disadvantageous. Watching the Hope Expeditionary Force advance bit by bit, Wang Feng walked directly towards the mutated willow tree. He wanted to know whether the mutated willow tree and the mutated bee, two creatures born from the planet Atlantis, had absorbed what will be the reaction after the chaos energy. When walking towards the mutated willow tree, Wang Feng noticed that the mutated willow tree seemed to have begun to change. The leaves of the willow tree, which were originally long and narrow, had become plump, and there were 5 protrusions on its leaves. A tip that looks a bit like a maple leaf. Wang Feng remembers that when he was in elementary school, there was a sorority party held by the school. there was a poem recitation called Maple Leaf is Red. However, because the host was too nervous, he directly read it as Maple Leaf is Crazy, which made the whole room laugh. And finally became the #1 comedy show. Now it seems that this willow tree is also crazy. Has it forgotten that it is a willow tree? How about it? Wang Feng came to the willow tree and started communicating with it directly with his consciousness. Does the energy of chaos have any effect on you? Have. The willow tree seemed very happy. Although it seemed a bit strange to use the emotion of happiness to describe a plant, Wang Feng did feel this emotion in the willow tree's answer. I don't know what the energy of chaos you are talking about is, but there is indeed a substance in this world that can benefit me a lot. I even feel that my genes are changing. Willow's mood was a little excited. Not only me, but Xiao Feng's strength has also been greatly enhanced. The little bee that the mutant willow tree refers to is naturally the mutant queen bee. Wang Feng's eyes turned to the mutant beehive hanging on the branches of the mutant willow. From the outside, the mutant beehive seemed to have no change. If anything, what Wang Feng could see was that the mutant beehive seemed to have become smaller. Just make sure these changes are good for you. Wang Feng said directly that since these two mutated creatures felt that the environment here was very good, Wang Feng was too lazy to care about them and let them develop on their own. Next, Wang Feng's goal is to find the exit to the primordial star. This is just a passage. His ultimate goal is the primordial star. Huh? Where did Rura go? Wang Feng suddenly remembered that the little milk cat Rura was also brought here by him. Because of this, Niu Niu was very unhappy, but now, it seems that he did not see Rura. Have no idea. The mutated willow tree answered honestly. After you released it, it stayed on me for a while and observed the surrounding environment. Then, it entered the jungle and never came back. Wang Feng frowned, then shook his head. Since it is gone, let's ignore it. The little milk cat Rura, since he ate the body of the Devourer's brood guard, his strength cannot be underestimated, but there is no need to worry about it. Okay, since this place is good for you, then you can do whatever you want. When I leave, I will take you with me again. Wang Feng said to the willow tree, then turned and left. After leaving, Wang Feng thought for a while and finally went to find Duan Lei. Liza. I will go into the jungle and look for a way to the primitive star. You are here, advancing steadily, mainly absorbing the energy of chaos. After you are all awakened, we can enter the primitive star. Star. Wang Feng said to Duan Lei. Well. You go ahead. Duan Lei didn't feel any surprise about Wang Feng's decision. Anyway, since the establishment of the Hope Base, this guy has always worked alone, and he always has to deal with the remaining problems by himself. Therefore, Duan Lei has long been accustomed to Wang Feng, the hands-off shopkeeper. Wang Feng summoned a small fighter plane and took off directly into the sky. He first patrolled the plane where they were stationed. Wang Feng discovered that only 1/3 of the entire Hope expeditionary force was still on the plains. The others had entered the jungle and were constantly cleaning up the monsters in the jungle. And those core members, including Lu Feng and Tang Haoshan, have all entered the jungle. Now in the plains, Duan Lei is the only one who can be called the core figure. Of course, human Emperor Fuxi is not included. But thinking about it, this is right. After all, they already know that the creatures in this jungle contain substances that can help them awaken their most powerful abilities. Of course, they will not stay here anymore. Especially for those core characters, their desire to awaken is even more urgent. After all, whether in the former Hope Base or the current Hope Expedition Corps, they are all managers. The Hope Expeditionary Force is an army. If you want to become an officer, you must have your own strength. No matter which army you are in, it is the same. If the military commander does not have certain strength, it will be difficult to control his subordinates. Especially in the military, where the strong is king, If you don't have the strength, no matter how big an official you are given, you won't be able to get into the position. Don't even think that you can get to the position just by relying on your father or connections. In that case, it will definitely end badly. If Lu Feng and the others have not yet awakened after all the soldiers of the Hope Legion have awakened, their status will probably be very embarrassing. Although, relying on their qualifications and prestige, no soldier dares to disobey their orders. But they will definitely not be able to get over it in their own hearts. Commanding subordinates who are much stronger than yourself is not something ordinary people can do. Even Wang Feng is no exception. Among the Hope Base or the Hope Expeditionary Force, it can be said that except for the ignorant instructor Li Yingning, Wang Feng is definitely the most powerful guy. They are all busy, so I won't be idle anymore. Wang Feng smiled softly, and then looked up into the depths of the jungle. It looks endless, right? Then go up there and see how big this jungle is. Then, Wang Feng piloted a small fighter plane, soared into the sky, and stabbed straight into the sky. Boom! With a violent explosion, the small fighter plane piloted by Wang Feng suddenly turned into a ball of fire in the air.